Now we will move on to our third session where I'll be talking you through our report findings, and we'll look at how SOCs are growing in awareness and acceptance, and how the biggest freight forwarders are using them. So let me just start by giving a bit of context on what the report is and why we do it. For the last 3 years, we've been reaching out to the biggest 50 freight forwarders, asking under an alias, and we've been asking them if they are able to organize an SOC move for us. We usually ask them if they can pick up in Shanghai and drop off in Hamburg. And we also ask for 45 days of storage. Johannes, could you tell our viewers why exactly we do this, why we ask for 45 days of storage?
That is, I think there's two reasons for that. One is that we want to move the container into a hinterland location, so it just takes longer to move the box. And or the alternative is that we essentially ask we don't know exactly when the consignee will accept the cargo, so we ask for longer time so that we can use the container actually as a storage means.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, this is exactly kind of what our request would look like when we email or we fill in an online forum when we were reaching out to these big freight forwarding companies. Yeah, so since 2021 was our 3rd year in a row, we can actually start to see and follow a proper trend when we compare 2019 to 2021. So let's take a closer look at our results. So on the right here, I'm just going to move my toggle. On the right here, you can see that our response rate increased, our decline rate decreased, which is what we want, and our acceptance and awareness rates have increased largely since 2019. So in 2021, 40% of our freight forwarders responded to us, which was 18% more than 2019. And 18% of them accepted our request. So that is 200% more than 2019. 18% of 50 is obviously 9, which means that 9 freight forwarders said that they can organize the SOC move for us, which is more than last year and the year before. So we were very happy to see that trend. Also, let me actually go back. 200% more since 2019 have proven that they know what SOCs are. So that means that 36 out of the 40 people that responded knew what SOCs are, which means it was 90% of them that have proven that they know what SOCs are, which indicates a rising percentage and a trend in awareness. So we were very excited to see that more and more people are knowing and using SOCs. Here, pictured here are the logos of our 9 winners from 2021. We have FedEx and Mainfreight and Gefco and yeah, some of these big names that said they could organize the move for us. Something that was interesting to note was that last year, in last year's report, the cohort analysis, which means we looked at the ranking of these freight forwarders and we saw that the ones at the top of the list, so from ranked number 1 to number 10, those people were most likely to accept our SOC move. Whereas this year, well, in 2021, the people who accepted our request were more aligned in the middle cohorts and spread throughout the list. And this also made us think that, SOC awareness is growing, but it's spreading not only to the biggest freight forwarders, but kind of to everyone. And again, Johannes, I'm going to call on you to comment on this. Why do you think that the cohort analysis was a bit different this year?
I think it honestly really shows the difficulties many freight forwarders still have with procuring containers, SOCs, and going kind of or finding means to solve that challenge. Actually, and to not just procure them, but also to manage them. Actually, the process of managing the SOC is not more complicated, or not significantly more complicated than the COC, but it's a separate step essentially. So you need to get a hold of that container, which is what we help with at Exchange. You find the container, essentially creating an opportunity, maybe especially for the SME side. So not the top 50 freight forwarders that we see here in the list, but essentially all the other hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of freight forwarders, create an additional opportunity, a market opportunity for them there on the SOC side.
Exactly. And that actually brings us on to our next slide, where I was going to talk about the issues that many people still face when thinking about SOCs. As Johannes stated, they aren't more administration or burden for the freight forwarders. They're just a new thing to organize, and you have to do it a bit separately, which is why Container Exchange has decided to step in. So even though we are so hopeful for the future of SOCs, some people find them still hard to source, and you also have to break through elite networks or freight forwarding connections, and they can also be as expensive or more expensive because of their rarity. So we are going to look at Conway's case next, and then into how Exchange can help solve these problems I've just listed.